All right, everybody. My apologies for the yellow screen, but that is actually good for you. Um, and again, if you want to know why, for those who don't know, well, it's the blue screen filter. You don't want to be looking at at the screen that how it normally would be because of Project Bluebeam. The blue hue emanating from your screen basically sends an automated activation to this nano to basically form a crown on your skull. So yeah, that's what that's doing. But anyway, that's not the reason of this video. Um, I wanted you all to see this, and if you hadn't, subscribed to Plain Truth 5, definitely do so. I will leave a link in the description. But this, not the beginning part, but like later on in the video, this is the best damn news I have heard all day. People are not tolerating their bullshit anymore. And they're like, screw you. We're taking our shit back and we're rejecting all of your trash that you basically been implementing into our neighborhoods. So without further ado, I shall play the video for you all. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, minus the targeting, because I know this stuff is getting a lot better. But we are definitely doing a magnificent job on boosting that awareness. I am proud of everybody. I am damn proud of everyone. Because now we're starting to find these people who are responsible and they can't hide. I believe that the private contractors, though, responsible for using these things out in the area who don't want to be seen, I think they have their stuff as blank because I've been seeing quite a few of those things on the ASN list that showed up as blank. So I'm pretty sure I'm not, if, with me being the targeted individual, I'm pretty certain there's going to be other TIs as well. I've been trying to reach out to certain TIs who I've spoken to before a while ago to let them know about what I found. So I hope they do see this. If you're not aware, my other channel, Mischievous Space M, has some really good information. But also, if you watch some of the older videos that I posted on the Guy channel and Mischievous in the other channel, Mischievous M, then you should be more than well aware of a lot of things that many different TIs are using to actually catch these assholes, and they cannot hide, man. They cannot hide at all. And let me tell you something. These glasses that I've gotten, dude, the freaking quality is incredible. They literally nothing is blurred out. Everything is just crystal clear on these things. Everything. I ended up trailing down to where the satellite and stuff was, not satellite, but the towers and stuff was, and like they left a lot of signs and stuff like that. And you see, I keep telling them this, the more they do, the more it's just going to be evidence. But I know why they do what they do. It's to trigger PTSD. This is why when you go out, you want to have that right frequency vid playing that handles the PTSD. You have that playing, and it undoes the bullshit of which they are doing while you're out. It calms you down, keeps you more centered, and you're able to at least get through your day a lot easier. You're able to go out, do what you need to do, and then head back out. But as for down here, they are really cracking down. They're trying to say, now they're getting to the point that we're like, you must wear a mask if you go inside the store now. This isn't just in any building. They're doing this in just about damn near all the buildings. So I think I'm gonna end up. I may actually be moving. To tell you the truth, I may actually be moving because of what's happening now. I see where people are starting to, wake up and they're saying they're not tolerating this shit. So I'm not gonna ramble on any longer. Without further ado, here's the video.
Hey folks, plain truth for you. I want to give you an update on the power outages going on here and what's been happening. The ridiculousness of the winds causing the trees to fall down, and you can see here, in these pictures, what are they talking about? They're talking about these areas that are some windy areas, and granted they're on some ridges, but the wind's going to hit here, but it's not going to hit here. The wind's going to hit here, it's not going to hit here. The wind's going to hit here, but it's not going to hit here. Oh, by the way, San Francisco is fine and safe. What a bunch of crap. And everybody's reporting, there was no winds. We're getting reports of up in Paradise that the winds are starting to pick up significantly up there, where they were on the news report saying the winds could get as big as the winds were during the Paradise fires, which was 80 football fields a minute or 272 miles an hour. They're saying the winds could get up to there. And you can see from the map how big of area they're talking about. Well, the whole story is that they're telling us is they can't turn back on the power until they inspect the power lines to make sure it's safe to turn on. But now with this expanded area that's going all the way to Lake Tahoe, going all the way to Las Vegas, going all the way to Southern California, that it's going to take them a long time to inspect all the lines. So it's going to take much longer to turn back off the power. But what can we do about it? What are the answers? Many people are calling me saying, what can I do? What should I do? What should I do? What can we do? Well, we should have done it already, but here's what we're doing and what we did up in Mendocino, which can change the whole game. The game of who has the power. Again, if you don't know where your water comes from, if you don't know where your energy comes from, well, we know, but you can't control it, you don't grow your own food. You're dependent on the stores. You're dependent on the system, the corporations. What can you do? Well, here in Mendocino County back in November 2014, we did something that hadn't been done in this country, whatever this corporation country, ever before. We wrote our own laws, as we're right to, saying that the community has the rights over state and federal law. The sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged from among old parchments or musty records. They're written as with a sunbeam in the whole volume of human nature by the hand of divinity itself and can never be erased or obscured by mortal power. Rights are not gifts from governed to rule, mental to rule your mind. So out here in California, out in Mendocino, where we passed the first ones that passed banning GMOs, 67 votes cast were in favor of Measure S. What was Measure S? It was the right to community self-government. All residents of Mendocino possess the right to form a governance where they live, which recognizes that all power is inherent in the people and all free governments are founded on the people's consent. Use of Mendocino governed by the sovereign people to make law and policy should not be deemed by any authority to eliminate or reduce that self-governing authority. Rights is self-executing, fundamental, and unalienable. All rights delineated and secured by this ordinance are inherent, fundamental, and unalienable, and shall be self-executing and enforceable both in private and public sectors. This is written with the great help of Thomas Lindsay of the Council for Environmental Legal Defense Fund and his partner who passed, Richard Grossman. They've been working on these documents for 15 years to write self-governing local laws. People in Mendocino made history, as I said, back in 2004, banning GMOs and the Declaration of Independence. This is what's on the $100 bill. The form of the government becomes destructive. It's the right of the people to alter or abolish it and then institute a new government or become ungovernable. We don't need the word government. All political power is inherent in the people. Government is instituted for the protection, security, and benefit of the people, and they have the right to alter or reform the same whenever the public good may require it. This is a show I did with Abby Martin on her show that is no longer there, but you can click on this link. I'll put it in the show notes. And Santa Barbara, we banned fracking, preemptively banned fracking in Mendocino. Who's the author of your authority? Is it legal? The law is not currently on your side, but when Measure S is about changing that. Measure S was about challenging the law as is, adopting a new system which enables you to control what happens in your county. So here's CELDEF and the Global Exchange has been working on this for a long time to get it passed. And basically what we did was we said that the Community Bill of Rights authorizes the Board of Supervisors, it directs the Board of Supervisors to come to the communities in Mendocino County and get their marching papers, to show what they're supposed to be doing in their community to enforce the laws that we say, that we want. And each community writes their own Bill of Rights, and the Board of Supervisors and Sheriff Tom Altman said he would respect the law, that it was a law, he recognized it. And also what was really critical we passed was the rights of nature. We passed a law in 2014 of November saying that nature has rights to exist. So this gives it standing in the courts system. This gives nature rights. This gives water rights. This gives trees rights to exist so we can protect them. Right now in the court systems, water it can be extracted by Nestle and trees can be cut down for board feet. But the laws would protect them. It would give rights to nature. El Salvador and other countries are passing these laws with the native people leading the way, the indigenous people as well. So if not us, who? Now, the other thing that's really critical to understand, we passed this bill, And unfortunately, out in Mendocino, we're really spread out. It's like herding cats with everybody. So we didn't quite get people to act on this new law that we just self-empowered. We declared, we're the author of our authority. We declared that we are going to make our laws that supersede state, that supersede federal laws, that supersede international laws. And what I wanted to do, which no one else really had the guts to do, which we can do now, is to go and commandeer the local pension of our county. In Mendocino County alone back then in 2014, I'm sure it's much larger, the pension fund was $325 million of our money in our county. Let's ask the people in our county, do you want to invest in Google? You want to invest in Facebook? Or do you want to invest in our local infrastructure, our farms, our waterways, our roads? 325 million people in dollars in Mendocino. We could do this. You can do this in every county, folks. So you want to know where your power comes from? Declare it. Write it. I'll put this in the show notes. We have the links to the actual documents that are on record in the ballotpedia that shows the documents. You can just copy and paste it and get people to pass it. Get a special law. This can happen. It can happen everywhere now because you're understanding you have no power until you speak your truth. That's why we have hearings. That's why we have oral hearings. You go to court to be heard. You must speak your truth. So here's to empowering you all. Write your own laws. Declare you're the author of your own authority. Build your community. Take back your power. Don't let it leave your community. Look into Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921, where the blacks thrived. They had their own governing system inside Tulsa, where they had their own airport. They had over 23 shops and businesses. The money would stay in their communities and wouldn't leave until it had been passed around 400 times. They supported each other in their communities. They made their own clothes. Like I said, they had their own airport. They had their own banking system. And then one night, they came in and bombed the crap out of them, and that was the end of Tulsa, Oklahoma's Wall Street. But you can still look it up, 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've got a video on that as well. I'll put in the show notes. All right, become the author of your own authority. They're going to banish the government. We're $23 trillion in current debt. They just stated they're going after the pension funds with the zero negative interest rates coming up. That kills all the pension fund money. That kills Medicare and Medi-Cal. That kills everything that's supposed to be supporting our safety networks. And by design. Because when you have negative interest rates and you're banking on a 4 to 8% return on investment, the money's just not going to be there. So this is all part of the plan. So we must have a plan. Well, evil men plot, good man plan. Get a hold of this wonderful man, Thomas Lindsay. He can help direct you at the Community Environmental League Defense Fund. All right, so take back your power, folks. It's time. They're not going to help you. They're not coming to help you. You need to become self-sufficient, self-reliant, and build your community. Time is short. Time is now. We need to create the future for our children we wish to see. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments, and I'll try and help you any way I can. Peace, love one another, and inaction is deemed more deadly than error. Out.
And there you have it. Let me go ahead and end this.